Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome too. I made this delicious strawberry cake today. It was pretty easy and it turned out great for a birthday cake or even just for a regular dessert. I started out by cutting up my strawberries because they're going to go in the blender there just to make them into almost like a syrupy texture. I used, I'd say, probably about a cup and a half of strawberries. It doesn't have to be precise though. I just had to get the lid to the mixer. And you puree those. And then in your mixing bowl, you're gonna add 2.5 cups of flour. I just used regular all-purpose flour. You could use cake flour if you had it, but I went with this because that's what I had. And then I added in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 of the baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt. I melted about half a cup of butter just in the microwave to soften it for about 30 seconds, just so it's easier to mix. I didn't leave it out soon enough. Add that in. And then I went about 1.25 cups of sugar, just the plain sugar there. And I did 5 eggs. I know it seems like a lot, but it helps it all come together. I had gotten some shell in there, so I wanted to make sure I got all that out. And then I added in some sour cream. You can do about 1/2 cup of sour cream, or pardon me, 1/4 cup of sour cream. I did a splash of vanilla, about 2 teaspoons, and then about 1/4 cup of milk. Just kind of mix that in just to combine it a little bit before I used my hand mixer, just so it didn't go everywhere. Because we've been there, right? And I added in the puree, strawberry puree as well. That was about 1 cup, I'd say, by the time it was pureed. And I just went ahead and did my mixer, making sure everything's combined fairly well. And then I added in red food coloring, just a few drops here and there to make it more pink. You can add as much as you like, honestly. I'd say I added about the equivalent of like 1/2 teaspoon by the time I was said and done, but it's whatever you like. It was such a nice pink color by this time. I'm going to end up splitting this batter into 2 cake pan, like the spring forms. And I put it on a cookie tray just in case it leaks or something. Just makes it easier for putting it in the oven with the 2 of them. And you want to spray your pans as well. And then I used parchment on the bottom. You'll see here in a minute how I did that. And if you've been here for a bit, that's how I usually do them. And then it makes it easier once it's done cooking for transferring out of the spring form. I just kind of pinch them into the pan and then cut off the excess so you don't have like a bunch sticking out. But you want to leave at least 1 inch around so it helps you later on when you're taking the pan off and you're moving your cakes as well. And then I just used a regular like olive oil spray. You can use anything that you have, even butter honestly, just to oil the pans. And then I split the batter into 2. Trying to keep them even. I think I did fairly well. I had my kitchen scale out, but I just eyeballed them. And then I had the oven preheated at 350. I threw them in there. I kept a close eye, and they did take about 40-45 minutes. So you want to just keep checking them with the toothpick, and as soon as the toothpick comes out clean, pull them from the oven. So then I have my wire rack there. See how nice and easy that transfers? Just to put them on the wire rack to let them cool. And they let them cool for at least a good hour, hour and a half before I even thought about icing them. Because you don't want them to be warm, because then your icing will just run right off. So I just cleaned my cake stand there that I had, added the bottom layer. And then I got a bowl to mix up my icing. So I did 1 block of cream cheese. I'd say probably a cup and a half of the icing sugar by the time I was done. 1/4 cup of whole milk, and then just the food dye. So I kind of mixed it up again by hand before I used the hand mixer. Just seemed to make less of a mess, honestly. I tried to. Oh, and vanilla, splash vanilla, I forgot about that. So yeah, I started out with just a little bit of the icing sugar, but I ended up adding more, and that was the 1/4 cup of milk. And I just kind of hand mix this a little bit before I use the other one. Just had to clean off the mixer before I used it from the last time. And just to combine that as best you can. And I find when you use that hand mixer, it like whips it up really good. So it like adds some volume to it. Instead of just mixing it by hand, you don't want to do that. And honestly, you can find a hand mixer for like 20-30 bucks at the store. It doesn't have to be your KitchenAid, nothing special. See how it's kind of adding some air into that, and then I went ahead with the food coloring because I wanted a pink cake. I'm just kind of scraping down the sides to get that all combined. I gave it one more quick mix just to make sure. I added a thin layer in between the cake layers because if you add too much, honestly, it just starts to slide. So I just added a little bit. And if I really wanted, I could have taken a knife and leveled off each layer so it didn't have that round bit, but I wasn't too worried about it. I just covered it up with icing. I know there's like a space there of like 1 centimeter, it looks like, but you guys will see it comes together pretty cute. So nothing fancy here, just get the icing on. You can use a piping bag if you like. You can do it more fancy than me, but I was kind of in a hurry and I had to get out the door, so I just wanted to finish this. This icing tasted so good. The cake was really good too. That nice dense cake taste to it was super good. Just enough icing, honestly. I had just enough to cover the whole cake. And it honestly turned out pretty cute. Even this would be cute for like a baby shower or something. Just getting that last little bit of icing. And then you can decorate the top however you like. I chose to cut up a few strawberries just so people knew what they were eating. Just cleaning up my cake dish there so it looks presentable. And I did cut up the strawberries, but I mean, you could just literally throw 3 strawberries on top if you like. It doesn't have to be anything this fancy. Not that it was. Just kind of put them in a little circle, and then I threw 3 in the middle. Just 3 smaller ones. There we go, guys. Cake's all finished. It was absolutely delicious. I hope you like this channel and subscribe for more great content so I can get my recipes to more people. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks.